Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and my law firm assists social media influencers with management contract issues. Today I'm going to talk about are social media influencers independent contractors. So, previous jobs that an influencer have had are very likely employee W-2 opportunities. So let's just say you're working in retail. You are an employee, meaning the employer has complete control over you. They tell you where to work, when to work, how much you work, what your duties are, and then you'll receive a W-2 at the end of the year. You'll have taxes withheld in your paychecks throughout the year. So in that scenario, you're an employee. Now, as an influencer, your job is different. You aren't working full-time for any of these companies that you're sponsoring. You're doing kind of a short-term burst of marketing, it's depending upon the relationship. And so for the most part, it's up to you, maybe what you post, the exact content that you post. I mean, obviously there'll be some bare bones. We want you to post, this many times a month. We want you to do 90-second spots on your, YouTube videos once every 2 months, whatever it is. But you're not kind of going into a 9-to-5 job every day. And so when the sponsor doesn't exert a complete control over the influencer, that's more of an independent contractor relationship. And so in that, at the end of the year, the independent contractor receives a 1099, and any compensation paid to the influencer has no taxes withheld. So at the end of the year, the influencer is going to be the one that has to pay the taxes on all of the compensation that they've received. Now, is there an advantage to being an independent contractor versus an employee? Well, if you're a smart independent contractor, you're going to create an LLC, and then you're going to get a tax ID number, an EIN through the IRS, and then you're going to create a bank account for that LLC, and then you're going to run all compensation and expenses through that account. As an influencer, you can take many, many tax deductions as an independent contractor. So many of the things that go into being an influencer can be deducted. So travel, maybe you're in the fitness industry and you're trying out new products. Well, you can likely deduct the products that you bought as well. Meals, gas, cars, sometimes. There are a ton of things you can deduct when you're kind of considered your own business as an independent contractor and self-employed. One thing I would suggest, I'm not an accountant or tax attorney, so I'm certainly not a complete expert on this, but I would suggest that you reach out to an accountant and they can assist you in setting up the LLC and then letting you know exactly the things that you can and cannot deduct. And that way you can kind of maximize your compensation and tax deductions at the end of the year. If you're not doing that, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, there may be scenarios where you're working so much for one sponsor or you're doing so much work for them over the course of a week or a month or a year or whatever, that you may be classified as an employee. It's very rare that a scenario like that would exist, but there may be certain times where there's so much activity between an influencer and a sponsor that they might be considered an employee. If you're concerned that you're being misclassified, either as an employee or as an independent contractor, I would suggest you speak to the sponsor and let them know your concerns and kind of talk through that. So that's a little bit about whether a social media influencer is an independent contractor. They very likely are, and you will receive 1099 at the end of the year. If you have any questions about your management contract or any other questions, feel free to call my law firm at the phone number listed below in the description, or you can reach us through our website, chellelaw.com. If you thought the video was helpful, like, subscribe to the channel. We release videos every single day. All right, appreciate you watching the video. Thanks.